We are back in the year 1982, continuing our look at the Masters of the Universe toy line by Mattel. Previously, we looked at the ocean warlord, Mer-Man, the evil henchman of Skeletor. And we also looked at Teela, the warrior goddess. Now, there are only 3 of the original figures left, including the savage henchman Beastman and He-Man's trusted friend, Stratos. And today, we'll be looking at the winged warrior, Stratos, here on Creed's Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection. Today we're looking at the winged warrior Stratos from the 1982 toy line, Masters of the Universe by Mattel. Stratos is the leader of the bird people of Avion, who live high in the mystic mountains on the planet of Eternia. Stratos is one of He-Man's most trusted friends, and in addition to his ability to fly, Stratos often acts as a spy, watching Skeletor and his minions from high above with his keen, bird-like eyes. Like Teela, there are a few differences between Stratos in the mini-comics versus the cartoon, most notably being that his wife in the mini-comics, known as Delora, is changed to his sister in the cartoon, which is a little strange. And now that we know a little bit more about Stratos, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Beastman and Stratos actually share the same body, they just have different heads and accessories. And once again, this really hammers home how much they were able to accomplish with so few parts. And he's got a pretty awesome head sculpt with his Abraham Lincoln beard and his sweet cat eye goggles. And if you look at his upper lip, it appears to look very different than, say, He-Man or Man-at-Arms. And that's nice attention to detail, since he is a different species than those two, being part of the bird people. This side view also shows you again that his nose and chin really protrude, almost like he has a muzzle. It really makes me want to see how he looks underneath that helmet. And while we're up here by the head, I'll just show that Stratos is a soft head. The first wave Masters figures all had soft heads, and later they were released in hard head form. As we come around to the back side of him, you can see his cool jetpack and how his wings attach to his arms. We'll get to that in a second, but before we move on to his accessories, I just want to show that on top of his right hand, he has these spikes, which I'm not sure if they're supposed to be a weapon or just decoration, but only he and Beastman have them, so I figured it was worth mentioning. Alright, now onto his accessories. We'll start off by looking at his jetpack, which I think looks pretty cool. It's kind of got a retro feel to it. I really like the fins here. I think that's nice. It adds a little bit of detail, not to mention these patterns up on top of the shoulder straps that look like feathers. Unnecessary, but awesome. But a detail they forgot is right here. There's no hole for the thrust to come out of the jetpack, which is kind of weird. Now I'll move on to the wings, which as you can see are beautifully detailed. Really amazing feather patterns. They attach in 2 places on Stratos' arm. There's one snap here by the bicep, and then there's a cuff that goes up on the wrist. Now, one really unique thing about Stratos is that there's a variant of him where they flipped the color of his backpack and wings. The version I own is the correct coloring. It matches the cartoon and the mini-comics, so I'm not sure why this one exists. Another thing unique to Stratos is that he didn't come with any weapons. Apparently he can shoot energy blasts from his hands, but as a kid, I always just gave him the spear from Castle Grayskull. I always felt like it really suited him. Now we're going to take a quick look at Stratos' articulation. He's got the rubber band legs, you can't really pose very well. He's got the swivel waist with the spring-loaded power punch. His arms can go up and down, and his head can turn left and right. And that is it. That covers all of Stratos' articulation. And his spring-loaded power punch still works. Stratos' copyright information is on his lower back. Mattel, 1981, made in Taiwan. And now for our He-Man size comparison. You know, I always think these are going to be redundant, but amazingly, these characters are slightly different sizes. And as you can see, He-Man's a little bit bigger than Stratos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy review for Stratos from the 1982 toy line, Masters of the Universe by Mattel. People don't seem to talk about Stratos too much. He seems kind of overlooked in the Masters of the Universe collection, but to me, he's one of the best in the line because the ability to fly is pretty amazing. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it and it would help my channel grow. I review a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so I hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.